how do you know what's good? And if something's trending, I mostly think of it as new. So it seems like you're trying to pick hidden gems that people almost haven't found yet that have been forgotten.
Pretty much that's a really good way of putting it. Yes, I like finding, like, if you look in old, like, okay, I go to a bunch of estate sales and I live on, like, I bring a disposable camera. Like, I have a disposable camera and I bring it along. And when I go to estate sales, it's a very weird feeling walking into someone's house that they probably have passed away and it's like their whole life is for sale. Like, every closet, everything in the basement, everything is like you can go through and it's just like someone's collection from, like, you can tell they lived there for years and it's just someone's whole life's collection. And so I get to go through like generations of stuff. You can tell stuff that they kept from their parents that are still there. You can kept like stuff they kept from their childhood, from when they got married to their kids' childhood. So there's a wide range of stuff from anywhere from like 1920s or earlier to almost Y2K now, because that's trending right now. It's stuff we grew up with. Like the pink yoga pants that everyone wore in high school that like
Yeah.
like those are very popular right now. Like they're back. They're back.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Katrina talked about how fashion just goes and trends a lot.
Just keeps circling. Just keeps circling.
Yeah.
But now I feel like since COVID, like trends and clothes, like what you wear, it's such a wide variety now that like you can literally wear anything and no one's going to judge you anymore. From when we grew up, like I would say Y2K was very crucial because we watched Britney Spears weigh 98 pounds her whole career pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what we had to look like. We had to be very skinny and we had to have our straighteners and we had to have our Ugg boots and everything. And now you can wear literally whatever you want because it's all in. Anything from like Jackie Kennedy's dresses to like the yoga pants. Like it's such a wide variety now that like with my other store, I see what college kids are wearing, and it's just anything. It can be anything now, and which is like so nice because I feel like I dress depends on my mood every day. Like sometimes I dress, I wear vintage clothes. Sometimes I'm wearing new clothes. Sometimes I mix, but I can really test the waters and like wear like high polka dot socks with my Vans and no, I think no one will judge you as much as they used to, like growing up.
Oh yeah, I would agree, and it seems like is part of that just through social media, and you see so much stuff that everything's like.
I know. I just think looking at artists now, you have a wide range from even things we used to listen to that are still in, but now we have Chapel Roan and like her style, and even if you're into country music, their style, like everything is just in. You can literally mix and match. And I think that is so good, and I hope it's here to stay forever because I think it's helped high school kids. I think it's helped like millennials kind of step into a role that like they weren't able to growing up because they were too either embarrassed or scared to wear certain stuff to school because you would get made fun of, like you would get pointed at in the hallways. And so like now it's you don't, either one, don't care, and that's kind of the point where I'm at. Like if you don't like my stuff, that's okay. Like this place might not be for you, but I have a wide range of stuff. Like I have everything from right now a NASCAR Jeff Gordon jacket to grandpa sweaters to like 1920 dresses. Like we have such a wide variety. We hope to have something for everyone, but
yeah, and there's just something about the old like the old jackets and stuff.
Things are not made differently now, so like you can't compare.
Yeah, it seems like everything was made like stuff can be made so quick at a lower cost where it's not as nice. It seems where like your older stuff like, oh, this is a nice old coat and it's so warm. It's like hand stitched and things.
It's like crazy to see how long these clothes have lasted and how many like lives they might have lived in the last like 50 to 60 years compared to when you buy something off Shein and like compare the comparison to that outfit to one of these. It's crazy.
Yeah, like even with my clothes, I don't like shop a ton, but buy like a name brand workout shirt compared to like something cheap online. I've had them for like 10 years, and then I'll buy this. This is cheap, and it falls apart in one like year.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, this is not good for anybody.
No.
Yeah, but it's just like there's so much. I walked in here and it's like, oh,
it's really bright. But also I feel like I made it so it's a loop pretty much, but I made it so like you stay a while. Like I don't want you just to come in and like rush. Like I want you to slow down because that's what I feel like we all need. Like it I want you to like take the time, bring a friend or your mom, and this is the time where you guys just like chat while you shop, and they literally just will do circles for like an hour, and like they had no idea, and then they'll look down and be like, "Oh my goodness, we've been here for like 45 minutes," and I'm like, "That's exactly the point of this store." Yeah, it's just to get lost and like forget time is happening right now.
Cause that happened to me. Like I started with the phone and then there's like some camera thing back there and a panther, and it's like the old school old school cards and stuff or cards.
Yeah. And then we have plans, and then we have new stuff. A lot of our new stuff are other small businesses that either are artists that like make their own product. We don't have anything super mass productive. I think everything is from another small business that like I literally either know them from market or I followed them and they source or make the item. I don't buy a ton. I think it's under 5% here of like it's like a mass.
Yeah.
It's just a giant company that makes a ton of them.
Dude, that's so epic. Yeah. With the have you had that coffee shop like the one that's just down the street?
The old brick like gas station.
I think it might be on the other side. It's like the honey pot.
The Honey Den's a candy store.
Okay, because I got some coffee shop on this side of the street.
Like a long, long time ago?
Probably.
Like a long time ago.
I got it probably like 5 years ago. Cause it was
okay, so Serving Cafe
yes.
used to be there. Now they're in an old gas station. So they applied for a matching grant through Main Street, Iowa, and they won it. So it was a huge matching grant. So they got $100,000 to purchase the old gas station and remodel it into a breakfast cafe, lunch and breakfast cafe. And so now they have, I think, over double the seats.
Okay, wait. So they got a grant. I don't know anything about like you can get grants to help. Yeah. But
so I got a grant for my baby store when I opened because they were doing the first 3 women that year that would open a store downtown Iowa City were given grants, and I was the last one, I think. And it just helps you. Like I didn't have to do for that one. I didn't. There's somewhere like you have to do rules. Like I won another one a month ago for it was just like a small business grant through the downtown, like not downtown Iowa City, just through Iowa City, like the city of Iowa City. And I think I just had to tell them what I was struggling with, and with the baby store, we struggled with construction all of last year. Like yeah. So I just talked about that and how like I couldn't do as much as I wanted with the baby store last year because just our fun, like we were on hold, like we were just like holding our breath. Like I had a baby, they ripped up my sidewalk like a week later. So like it was just like I wanted to like be there and like hang with my kid, and I just wanted to get through construction without completely crying and falling apart. And so I applied for one and got that, and it's to like help with inventory to like boost inventory for 2025, which was nice. But they are a wide range. Like Verizon does a bunch of small business grants. Sometimes you have to like write essays or like have like invoices or quotes to like show what you want to do. I applied for another one through the state of Iowa to get new flooring at the baby store. And then starting next month, downtown Westbridge is going to do matching grants for outdoor signage, which is nice. So I'm going to be able to redo my sign outside.
Okay. And so grant is essentially like the
A grant is almost like free money.
yeah.
Well, it is free money.
Because it's like, hey, we want our town to do well. We need our businesses to do well.
Yes, exactly. That's it. Exactly. They want it can either be the city, a nonprofit, a school. It like they all create these grants for us to like literally like keep going because they want us here.
No, yeah.
So it's just we have to put in a little bit of work and then they literally hand us a check. Like if I didn't get the women-owned grant when we opened the baby store, I thought it was full at the time. It was not full, but I would have not even had that much stuff in the store when we opened.
Oh yeah.
Because I didn't have like I just decided to open a store. Rent's really expensive downtown, plus what we wanted to do with it. It was the comic book store for 20 years.
Oh.
So it was dark carpet, somewhat dark walls, because they just didn't want light touching any of their comic books. So I wanted to do the exact opposite.
Yep.
So it went towards paint, temporary like hardwood flooring that we put down ourselves, new lights, and like a counter and all that kind of stuff.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it like literally can save a business from going under.
And do you have to look for those, or do they like?
It depends on how awesome your downtown or like district wherever you are. Like if you're not in the downtown Iowa City district, like you wouldn't get those emails. And if you're not like I'm on Main Street, so I'm part of the Main Street, like I'm part of Westbridge Main Street, which is part of Iowa Main Street, which is part of United States Main Street. There is a whole organization just for main streets and small towns. And then so our director is awesome here, and we used to not have a director. And then we finally have a full-time director now, and she will email us and be like, hey guys, here's a grant, or here's a grant that like she found funding and applied for a grant, and then literally I just have to email her and be like, I want a new sign outside. Here's a quote for the grant. Yeah. And she's like, deal. So she filled out the grant for us. So most of the time you have to do it yourself. But just depends. Like the downtown, the one that I just got, I kind of found on my own and randomly applied. If you like search for them and Google like any small business grants, you can usually find them. But those are going to be like nationwide, and those are going to be super hard to actually get because a zillion people probably want them. So I tried to hone in on like if Main Street America ever does them, or like downtown district only like does them, or the city of Iowa City, and then I write up a really good like I want to stay and I'm here and I try to give back to the community. I'm on the downtown Iowa City board and I'm on the Main Street Westbridge board too. So I try to volunteer just as much as I work. So
no, that's awesome, and that's going to be just like great information for people to know too. Because I didn't.
There's grants. And you need to apply. 100% get the free money as much as you can.
Yeah, and so how did you go from getting to the first storefront? Because that seems like one hurdle in people's heads is like a big thing.
I've lived like 9 lives. Okay. This is good. Okay. I've lived legit 9 lives. So graduated high school graduation money, bought a camera, went to Kirkwood for healthcare at the same time, paid for Kirkwood with my camera. So I was doing like sessions on the side. Decided to do a wedding that I found on Craigslist. Did that wedding. Nicest people ever. The best time I've ever had. They were looking for someone that like wanted to learn how to do photography at their wedding. So it was like the perfect thing because I was like, I don't know how to work my camera, but I will photograph your wedding for like $500. And they're like, said a deal. Built my portfolio, still going to school for healthcare, graduated, got a job at the hospital, was doing a ton of weddings. Then I opened up Borrow My Vintage, which is a vintage rental company. So I created and started that all by doing photography and working at the hospital. Bar My Vintage, I sold it in 2022 after I had Agnes, and it's a vintage rental company. So I was collecting like vintage couches like this, rent them out for your wedding, like so you could have like them with pictures and stuff. We expanded into like tabletop decor, all that. So I pretty much put my love for vintage in a business for weddings and events, and would go out sourcing for stuff for weddings, and would rent. I had a warehouse. It was full of just a bunch of random chairs and couches, candlesticks, vases, all that kind of stuff. Decided as I was sourcing, I was collecting stuff that like wouldn't rent at weddings, but I could resell it.
Oh.
Opened an Etsy shop. Did the Etsy shop, all still working at the hospital. So I'm doing all of this. Quit the hospital, went full time with my businesses, with photography and Bar My Vintage and 223, which was out of my garage at the time. COVID hit, got really burnt out with photography. So I retired from that. Still had Bar My Vintage, found the storefront in found it in February of 2020, opened it March 5th of 2020, closed it 13 days later because of COVID. Weddings like were a complete stop. Like COVID, like literally turned everything upside down for me. I kind of figured out like photography was not going to be it for me. I knew I wanted like my weekends back.
Oh yeah.
So I figured out like let's try a store and like hire workers and really good employees, and I feel like I've done a zillion things. So it all makes sense of like everything that like led up to where I'm at now. So got rid of photography, doing the store and Bar My Vintage, had a baby, sold Bar My Vintage because my husband was working and my brother was full time there. But Ryan had a full time job. He still does. And he was doing Bar My Vintage full time pretty much. So he was all over the place. He was getting really tired. He was getting burnout. He didn't want to move furniture for the rest of his life. So we're like moving couches in and out of wedding venues. We're a glorified moving company is what Vintage technically is. So I decided to sell that, all why I opened the baby store, because I had a baby section here and people loved it, but I didn't want it to take over. Like it kept growing because people kept loving all the stuff I was picking out. And I was like, we don't have a like there's no baby store. Like there's not one in Iowa City. Like if it's not Walmart, Target, or Amazon, there's nowhere to go get a baby gift that's like strictly baby. So I opened the baby store. So now I just have the two retail shops. I feel just, but it's a lot.
Oh yeah, and just that.
But that's like literally like it comes back full circle. I missed the hospital, but I'm really glad I left. Especially I left a year before COVID. I feel like COVID would have like killed it for me. But like I have like lifetime friends from all different areas from my life. From the hospital, I still talk to them. From the wedding world, like those were my best friends for 10 years, and I saw them every single day because we were working together we all had the same brides. We all had we were together all the time. And now with retail world, I have all these small business friends that have other small businesses either across the street or across the nation, and I see them and I talk to them and we get lunch all the time. So I have all these different groups of friends that like I think has helped grow my store friends, because like my nurse friends from the hospital are like, I know Macy, like we used to work with her. And then like wedding world, they come and they visit me here because this is where you find me now. So it's kind of crazy, but yeah, that's where I'm at now.
Yeah, and so how long since well I guess it's math, so 14 years you've been doing this?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems like a long time, which it is, but
it is, but it's not. We're only 32.
Yeah, and
like
right, still young, and in like the middle of like that journey, it didn't feel like a long time. It was the present time. You know what I mean?
Like I really feel like I should be 50 with all the jobs I've had and like all the things I've done. Like the thing I'm most proud of probably right now is, other than having like a family and kids, like my girls are the best things ever, but like I created and sold a wedding business, which I think is huge.
Oh, yeah.
Created that, grew it. It like blew up before we could even like, I could wrap my head around it, and then sold it at the age of 30, like a 6-figure business. Like it was just kind of like crazy to me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Then, and if you wanted to, you could just be like chilling, you know?
I could be chilling, but I don't like to chill.
Exactly.
I'm not a chiller.
No.
Anyone will tell you that. I don't like sitting still. I love working. I love, I'm obsessed with working. It's not healthy, but since I do such a wide variety of stuff, like like today I bought plants and I went to the baby store for a while and figured out what we need to do there. Like every day is different, and then I wish there was more hours in the day, but I am working on trying to shut it off at night for my girls and being able to hang out with them for a couple hours before they go to bed, before I get back on my computer and work some more. But work-life balance is really hard and people don't talk about it. And it actually is, especially for working moms, like the world is not structured for working moms. Like, how are we supposed, especially when they go to school, like how are we supposed to drop off kids at 8:30 and pick them up at 3:30 when most people work 8 to 5 jobs? Like it's just like the world isn't made for working moms. And that's why I went into owning my own business, because I can somewhat um, have a flexible schedule, but it helps when you have an awesome team and family and village behind you. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's got to be tough. It's just always thinking of like, oh, I could do this in the business. It just it's always just going. I feel
Post-it notes everywhere. Like yeah. Dumb ideas to really good ideas that like I sit on for so long, and then either someone else is kind of doing the same thing, or like it just never comes to life. And some of them are really good ideas, and some of them are, I'm glad they didn't come to life. But I definitely know I'm not done. Like I definitely know I want more stores.
More around here, or just
I don't know.
spots, or just like that.
We'll just see. We'll just see. Like everything has kind of fallen into place, or like into my lap when it happens. Like the baby store wasn't even a thought until my friends said that they're like, you want to open, like I kind of put it out in the world that I'm like, I would love to open a baby store. I'm pregnant, like I'm 3 months pregnant, and would love to have a baby store because that's where my life's going. I'm gonna be a mom now. And like I think a week later my friends texted me and they said there's an awesome spot that's for rent across the street from us. I think I called the landlord that day. We walked through it with the downtown district director at the time, and she told me about the grant, and I think I rented it that same day. Like I couldn't pass it up. Like I was like, okay, let's do it.
That's crazy.
I opened it when I was 8 months pregnant, so.
Yeah, that alone is just like you did it.
Yeah,
like that is that just thinking about, well, if I'm pregnant I can't do that, or if I'm this I can't. But it's like, well, but
you can. You need to slow down probably a little bit, but you definitely can do anything you set your mind to, no matter if you're pregnant or any kind of like anything. You can definitely, you got to work for it, but you can do it. I'm a true believer in like if you want to do something, you can do it 100%.
Yeah, it seems like getting started and just even committing to trying the thing 100% is a big step.
But yeah.
Have you done any like photo shoots in here?
I have. I did.
I've
done a couple. I actually did an engagement here. And he's a good friend, and he messaged me. I think he just texted me and said, "Hey, because she likes coming here." And it was around COVID, maybe, or a year after COVID. Like I feel like we were still doing private appointments, which I feel like my private appointments lasted for a year. But like you could come in alone if you weren't comfortable going out in public with larger groups. You could come in here separate. So I was like doing private appointments, but also some people just did them because like that's what worked with their work schedule. And so he is like, I want to do it just as like a date night where we're going to go to dinner. But I told her that like I reserved a time to shop your store and I was going to give her a gift card. And he's like, I'm going to propose. Can you help me? And I was like, 100%. I can photograph it. Yeah. I can decorate it. Yeah. I can do all the things. So I decorated the whole thing. I still had borrowed my vintage. So it was before I sold it, 2022. So I think it was 2021. I like had candles all lined into the greenhouse and then like candles all around the greenhouse and then like really good plants. And then he brought pictures of the two of them and we framed them on the shelves. And then he had he gave me the ring like the week before. And then I had that on like a gold pedestal stand. So, and then I was like around, but my camera was hiding over here. And they walked in and she's like, she didn't even really notice at first, but he pulled her right into it. And I grabbed my camera and like, I got the whole thing. Yeah. It was really like, I never thought I'd have a proposal in here, but I did like, and super early too. So it was only a year into having the store. And then I've done a couple photo shoots. Like I've had a senior session in here. And then like other photographers asked to use it just to like. Okay, yeah, I could see that because just all this stuff. Yeah. But they can move stuff around. It doesn't bug me. But yeah. Yeah, cause I feel like that'd be fun to do with which if you've been doing already. But there's awesome spots. I want to bring Leon into the store downtown. But he's been in before, I think, with your mom. Mm-hmm, yeah, he's a little squirrely with me though. Don't worry about it. It's run wild in the store. And we just clean up after you guys leave. Okay, it doesn't bug us. My employees are really good at just knowing to because they they see it with my kids. Like Agnes is like she acts like she owns the place. So she will like yell at you when you walk in. She'll be like, come in. She's not super nice yet. We're still working on her customer service skills. But she loves like following people around, but then also she like colors on everything. So you know, and then Billy just like crawls everywhere. That's what I want it to be, though. I want you to feel welcomed with or without kids. Like, if you bring your kids or not. Some parents love coming in and they're like, my kids are at school or something. I just want to, like, have a second in here without having to chase them around. But then on weekends, when it's nice in the summertime and they just went to the playground or the fountain, they stop in. And usually, like, are here to, like, let the kids pick out stuff. So I love seeing both. Like, I love either talking to the mom when she doesn't, like, the kids are at daycare and she just wants a break and we just talk about anything and everything. Or if I'm like, if you just want to shop in peace and, like, not talk, that's totally fine too. But if you want to talk to an adult, like, I'm here. And then the other way around, like, I love watching the little kids and seeing what they pick up because it also helps with, like, what is like what do they want? So like they want colorful, they want fun, they know certain like characters. Like we have Daniel Tiger stuff, we have Bluey stuff. Like I look for what they want. Right, that's awesome. Yeah, we should do this at the other spot sometime too. Okay, I don't have a comfy couch. No stress. So bring in a chair. And thank you. And what are all the socials? Where can everyone find you? So my personal one that like I post a lot of like business coaching and other things since I'm a huge business podcast listener. I love listening to other podcasts and read books and stuff. Like I'm a big person on the Let Them theory from Mel Robbins. She is a podcaster, but she wrote a book about Let Them. And it literally is so simple, but like it's so easy to like step back and like remember just let them, which it could be like let them talk about you in a good or bad way. Like you have to just let them do whatever they want. And that could be anyone. Like you can't control anyone. You can't control what people are going to say about your business, good or bad. You can't control if like your best friend has never walked in your store and purchased something. You can't control that. Like it's just there's certain things you can control, and a lot of it's not gonna be business related. So you have to let a lot of things go. So I post a lot about, one, personal stuff, two, business, just coaching, life, really good quotes to live by if you are a small business owner. And that's just at Macy Krall. And then 223 Baby and 223 Vintage are my other ones.
Awesome. Yeah, go check it out. Thank you so much.